Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Sheila Callaham, and this week I have a big announcement that I'm so pleased to share. I'll also talk about what's happening in the DEI world. Huge news and not exactly good, if I'm being honest. And then finally, I'll tell you about another EEOC win against ageism and the $500,000 award. So let's get started. I'm delighted to tell you that this year's Age Equity Alliance Fall Forum is now open for registration, and it's bigger and better than ever. This is our third year for hosting the virtual educational event, and it touches on a variety of topics about age and aging in the workplace. Historically, the 4-hour virtual event has been scheduled to suit U.S. audiences. But when we had attendees from 8 countries at last year's event, we knew it was time to step up. This year's event is scheduled in 3 different geos across the globe, October 15, 16, and 17, and boasts 24 speakers. The theme is the whole life career and the longevity mindset advantage. In the Americas on October 15th, the keynotes, discussions, and reports will cover topics like the generation myth and what companies can do to avoid age discrimination and how values are shared by people across the age spectrum. In Europe on October 16th, our speakers will discuss how to lead beyond retirement myths. We'll talk about mid-career opportunities and challenges, and we'll talk about crafting careers that can stand the test of time, and so much more. Finally, in the Asia Pacific, closing it out on October 17th, we'll talk about building an ecosystem for workplace longevity, the collective approach to integrating older workers back into the workplace, and longevity economic principles, along with many other topics. We bring the best subject matter experts, authors, academics, and global organizations like Deloitte, the London School of Economics, Mercer, and the OECD. Your registration fee covers all 3 geos if you're feeling adventurous. I'll be there, of course, and I'd love to see you there too. Early registration is only $139 or the equivalent in whatever currency you have. Go to the website and click on 2024 Global Fall Forum and see our incredible lineup and register. That's at ageequityalliance.org. And if you value the work we're doing, I invite you to download the sponsor package and consider how showing your support by sponsoring the event or perhaps your topic of choice could make a big, big difference to all. Check it all out, ageequityalliance.org. Moving on to the subject of DEI. The Society for Human Resource Management, also known as SHRM, the largest professional human resources membership association with nearly 340,000 members in 180 countries, made a statement earlier this month that they were officially eliminating equity from diversity, equity, and inclusion, an announcement that has sent the HR community reeling. And here's why. A company can have diversity. They can even invite people to the table. But if those people don't have a voice, then it's tokenism. And that's why equity is so important to have in the DEI equation. Equity is what's driving fair pay across gender. It's what's driving fair opportunity to executive level positions. Comments on the SHRM site where they posted the announcement ranged from shock and confusion to outrage. I don't think I've ever seen such a solid consensus of responses in anything. There are almost 1,000 comments and 500 shares, and almost all the comments, honestly, are expressing concern for the direction that SHRM is going. Here are some examples. Quote, "This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard from any HR organization ever," said Nick Duggan. "I tried to think of a more balanced professional way to say that, but this is literally so stupid I can't form a nuanced response." Many other people agreed with him. Quote, "You are irreparably, irredeemably broken," wrote Kirsten Greggs. Iris Jones wrote, quote, "Enslaved Black people were included in the census, but they had no equity. Inclusion without equity is the new separate but equal." Wendy Sailors pointed out that Johnny C. Taylor, the SHRM CEO, was appointed by former President Trump as chairman of the President's Board of Advisors for Historically Black Colleges and Universities. And I quote, is now carrying out his call to destroy equity. End quote. There is even a petition started for HR Voices Opposing SHRM, created by the Equitable HR Guild. A petition has currently 640 names on it, mine included. I've included the link in the show notes if you want to join. I'm also working on a Forbes feature about what this means for DEI moving forward, and I'm particularly interested in speaking to practitioners who've been in this space for the last 15 or 20 years and can recount, for those who may not understand, why equity needed to be added in the first place. If that's you, or if you can recommend someone, please DM me or wait until the closing of this video for my email. You can look for my reflective article on the Forbes platform sometime over the weekend. And finally, more good news. I've said before that the EEOC is finally ramping up its efforts to address systemic ageism against older workers. 2 days ago, the EEOC released a statement that the commercial electrical contracting firm Hazel and Buehler have agreed to pay $500,000 to settle an age discrimination case brought on by the agency as a result of older workers being subjected to discriminatory hiring and recruiting practices. According to the EEO's lawsuit, since at least November 2020, the vice president of Hazel and Buehler's New Jersey branch engaged in age discrimination recruiting and hiring practices when he requested that recruiting companies seek out younger project managers and eliminate candidates for job opportunities, and then refuse to hire older workers because they did not fall within his desired age range. The EEOC's lawsuit also alleged that the same VP failed to retain job applicants and hiring related records in violation of federal law. I cannot tell you how many recruiters in third-party agencies have told me that their client has specifically said, hire under X age, don't bring me anybody that's over X age. And a lot of times these recruiters tell me they submit candidates anyway because they're qualified. And I am so glad to see that the EEOC is holding companies and the hiring managers' feet to the fire. It's about time. This is what it takes to create change. These kinds of actions violate the Age Discrimination in Employment Act, also known as the ADEA, which prohibits age discrimination in employment for ages 40 and older. There are some states, cities and states in the US that protect all ages. So if you're a younger person and you feel that you are being discriminated against on account of your age, or you're considered too young for a certain thing, you may have rights too. So the parties voluntarily agreed to settle this case, which has been approved by the federal courts. So in addition to paying $500,000 in relief to a group of 8 older job candidates, the company will also provide significant equitable relief, including prohibiting this vice president from ever making final decisions regarding which job candidates to interview or hire for project manager, blah, blah, blah. But honestly, if it were me and I were the CEO of that company, I would just fire his butt, seriously. The reality is that if companies want to avoid age discrimination charges, they need to include age discrimination in their zero tolerance policies, just like they would other types of discrimination. And they need to have robust training and education at all levels of the organization. And with that, Age Equity Alliance can certainly help. So that's a wrap for today. Thank you for clicking in to hear the latest, and I hope to see you again soon. Don't forget that I include all the links to the points I discuss in the show notes below. So if you want to learn more, you know where to go. This Week in the News is sponsored by Age Equity Alliance, a Texas-based 501c3 working globally with progressive companies to competitively attract, develop, and retain talent across the age spectrum. If your company wants to understand more about how Age Equity Alliance can support your talent sustainability goals, email me at sheila.callaham@ageequityalliance.org. You can follow Age Equity Alliance on LinkedIn, listen to our podcasts on Spotify, watch hundreds of short videos to inspire team conversations about age and aging at work on our YouTube channel, or visit the website at ageequityalliance.org.